friend of mine wanted to see the shop and figured I'd post a video online. A mess. Again, we're a reproduction parts store, stock used original parts, do a lot of rebuild stuff. This is the door I walk in every day. The main customer door is way down there, or generic public door. So this is the workroom. This is where I try to spend most of my time. I'm kind of a one-man band. I have employees that do stock stuff and ship and answer phones, but everything else, computer work and actual physical work, relies on me. This is where all the projects happen. A lot of things have been built in this little area. This week I got an 8VA engine at the machine shop. Today was steering gear day. I took apart a 39 box and a 36. Took apart a transmission I've got to do. So there's the toolbox, obviously. Sun machine. This thing gets used at minimum 20 times a week. We go through a lot of distributors here. We build hundreds upon hundreds a year. Brake blade for drums. We have the arbors to do both front and rears on early boards. A lot of places can do the fronts, but not the rears. Valve grinder hidden behind the fan. Taylor Wilson tools. I have a few, only the ones I use. Of course, a lathe. We all know what that is. That's probably my favorite tool I own. It's an automatic sandblaster. They can just take an old distributor housing after I get it apart, throw it in there for 20 minutes or so, as well as a bunch of other parts, and things come out looking like brand new. I use a real fine glass media in it to make things look good. That blaster is used for small stuff with fine sand. That's for bigger rusty items. Of course, industrial parts washer for transmissions and engine blocks and such. And all the other typical shop equipment. Little bathroom, the kitchen area, not much on. Let's see here. Let me grab something. Somebody once asked me why it's so messy. Again, it's just, I'm not an organized person, and I am a one-man band. I'd rather be working than cleaning. This is the star of the reproduction room. We'll enter it from the other end. This room is just stuff. Engine, exhaust manifolds, carburetors, heads, fans, running boards, axle shafts, rear end housings and parts, tie rods, drag links, steering gears, more heads, transmission parts, steering gear parts. This room carries a lot of things that I need: brake shoe cores, 32 carburetor cores. This is all brake drums, backing plates. Exhaust stuff is over my head, as you can see. I had a whole mountain of hot air heater parts fall today. I have to admit, I hit the wall and it all came crashing down. Original spark plugs, tons of them, generator cutouts, blah blah blah. See, this aisle, shifter handles. This is a lot of the hardware surplus for the hardware kits we sell on both this side and the other aisle. Radiators, kind of run low on radiators. Some of these are new old stock, some are used originals. It's my little Molly pickup. Some things I have a ton of, some things are just, it's like they reproduce, especially shocks. This shop is full of shocks. This is our shipping room. These are all the bins that make up all the little hardware kits, most of them anyways, that we sell. They're like, original Ford bolts that go in our hardware kits. A lot of work goes into these. It's a lot of time I spend. This is our shipping room. Obviously, you can tell by the boxes. shipping tables where the guys that ship work from. So on my parts catalog, I do a lot of research at this computer if I'm trying to learn a little something new on these cars and on the parts. This is our office. If you guys have ever called here, somebody named Evans likely answered. He works at this desk. Obviously, I've already told you I'm messy, so the messy desk is mine. And then we have a couple other part-timers. They have their own little spots, little lounge area, if you will. But this room, again, it's a good sized shipping room. On Mondays, we can have as many as 200 to 300 items shipping out of here. So this room stays hustling a lot. This room typically, if you've ever been here, this room typically has rows of shelves and tables full of good parts, we'll call it. Grills, chrome trinkets, display cases with parts. Well, Hershey's next week, so all this stuff out of this room, the good stuff we'll call it, is all loaded up in the trailer that had the Hershey. Shelf full of wheel, or wall full of shelves of wheels. These are original Ford part bins that I bought somewhere, and I've got them, it's got small parts, like if the open car, new old stock open car hardware, generator parts and starter parts. So I keep a lot of the small items I may need in those bins. A lot of this stuff is organized, some of it's not. Let's see. Of course, everybody's got to have a wall full of hubcaps. It's always cool. Rear ends, front ends, drive shafts. I have 3 other shops besides this one. One has cars that are stored, either waiting on me to work on them. Some of them are my cars. Another shop is a shop I used to actually work on cars. It's at my house. And then the last shop has just a couple parts cars and a lot of miscellaneous parts like rear ends. This room is just a random selection of about anything and everything. A lot of this stuff has not been gone through. Gauges. This box is full of new old stock cigar lighter stuff. New old stock and original lock cylinders, engine pans. This room, the amount of stainless I have in the shop is out of this world. I've got to identify it all one day. I call this room the dungeon because it looks like a dungeon. Half the lights don't work. New old stock sill plates, lots and lots and lots of wheels and tires everywhere. More stainless. This room is the dungeon, so it's got a little bit of everything. A lot of junk in here. But if you dig around, you can find some decent stuff in here. Horns. Let's see. I really need more time on my schedule so I can go through all this stuff. Again, just more shocks, spindles, just random stuff. Spindles, I'm surprised there's some here. They're kept at one of the other shops. This is a table. It's just got stuff I need to go through. These are engine bearings I need to go through. They're all pretty much new old stock. Brake cables, bunch of steering shafts, a absolute another pile of stainless moldings, bumper brackets scattered everywhere. I don't know how that happened. Leaf springs, new old stock and used. This wall is all of my new old stock engine bearings, and they're actually, believe it or not, organized by year and size. One of the few things in this shop that's original parts that is organized. And again, tons of engine pans, especially 40, 41. This room is 120 feet long, and this is all our we're mostly known for being a reproduction part store, and this is all the reproduction stuff. This building's not very nice, as you can tell. It used to be a cabinet shop. It gets hot in the summer, cold in the winter, but it works. It's got space. So this room's 120 feet long, and this is all the reproduction stuff that we stock. About 3,200 different reproduction part numbers that we carry. Some stuff that's listed in our reproduction catalog is still new old stock, but we just have a surplus of. A bunch of running boards from Bob Drake. So yeah, this room gets a lot of action every day, from online orders and phone orders. I've got a guy that comes back here and pulls the orders and gets them ready for shipment. Here's all our Drake gas tanks. They take up a lot of space. So yeah, that's the whole shop tour of this shop. Maybe one day I'll go through the other shops. They're not quite as packed, but that's it. That's what we do. All this stuff you see, I've acquired in about the last 13 years when I started doing this for a living. And it's an obsession, and I like to collect things that I use a lot when I'm rebuilding things or whatever. And it's fun, but boy, it takes up a lot of space. Thanks.